You're listening to The Tuesday Club with Sean and Kyle.
I'm Shane.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's right. You heard him. Welcome to the Tuesday Club podcast, a landmark Tuesday Club podcast, because this is a new era of Tuesday Club. Why is that, Kyle Rees?
Well, we've only gone and bagged one of the greats from rugby in its history to be one of the new hosts of the show.
Yeah, and we are broadcasting this episode from his fantastic, what do we call it, boudoir, cinema room, den, duck shed, whatever you want to call it. It's the one and only Shane Williams.
Hey guys, you need to sort that jingle out to me. Embarrassing.
Well, we recorded that, so it's new now.
Oh, that's right then. Okay.
I think you've done pretty well now as well.
Are you happy with the logo? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, my ears are hidden, which is always a bonus. Them caricatures of me have always got massive, hideous ears, and yeah, it's quite funny actually. So I am actually happy with it. It's up there with the grog, isn't it?
We got to give a good shout out there to Brad from Brad Sketchpath for doing them. He did the original one, obviously, of me and Sean. And then before we announced the massive Shane Williams coming on the show, I said, look, we've got a new co-host. Please can you add him in? And fair play to him. Brad, thank you. He done it straight away. And yeah, I thought it was pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, thanks, Brad.
Yeah, nice one, Brad. He's top man.
Take the mic.
That's brilliant. Caricature. So, Shane, why did you agree to come on the Tuesday Club as a co-host? I mean, I suppose it's because if Tom Shanklin and James Hook can do it, then you can do it.
I just thought you boys were coming on to watch a film. To be honest. Then he brought all this equipment with me and then he roped me in. That's why the jingle isn't ready for me. But no, look, I've been watching you guys performing and I've enjoyed it. I've been watching and listening to the podcast. And like you say, if James Hook and people like Tom Shanklin, especially James Haskell, has got his own one, then I need to get involved. You know what I mean?
Well, there's some serious envy going on from Kyle and I here, mate, because as you know, Tuesday Club, we talk rugby, yes, we have great rugby guests, but it's all about entertainment as well. People who like films, theatre, TV, and we're in this fantastic room you've created. It's called a duck shed because it was a duck shed, but you've got a gym next door there. For those people watching on YouTube, state-of-the-art gym, and this is fantastic, mate. I mean, God.
As an actor walking in here, obviously, when we approached Williams Manor, I was going to say Bruce Manor, but, you're the Batman of Ammanford. Walking in this room and seeing all the memorabilia you've got from films, Goonies, Only Fools, and you got...
Your Roadhouse on the side, that's one of the best films ever.
Dalton, this is a bit graphic, but the bit where he rips the guy's voice box out, it's like, he's got that special move.
Have it.
This is like an actor's dream. I think the first thing I said was just like walking into MTV Cribs. So fair play to you. It's marvelous. Can I move in?
Yeah, Roadhouse. Yeah. When we've asked people about favourite films and stuff, and Kyle asked me, many episodes ago, and Roadhouse was in my top 3, wasn't it, Kyle?
It was indeed, yeah.
There it is, on the wall. Burt Reynolds, another hero of mine.
No, he'd be one of my favourite actors, Burt, there. Whether it's Cannonball Run, Smokey and the Bandit, Hooper, you name it, he was class. So I was gutted when he went. But
Mean Machine, Longest Yard, Mean Machine, the original.
Yeah. What was the film he was in? And they remade it. There was about 2 boys in the car, the famous car. It was in like, hey, how's it going, y'all? Yeah, all that.
That was Cannonball Run, wasn't it?
No, it was. There was like 2 brothers, and he was in the original film, and then they brought him back like they do with Burt Reynolds and put him in the new remake as one of the old Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, was he? Yeah, that's right. Dukes of Hazzard.
That's it.
Daisy Duke. Growing up, that was.
What was the one with Demi Moore as well? That was a good one. Not because of him, for obvious reasons.
Striptease.
Pretty much for it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Striptease.
That was pretty good.
He played a great part in that.
And another good one, Deliverance.
Oh. I tell you, was Angelina Jolie's father's good in that film as well. I can't remember his name though. Vaughn? Something Vaughn? No.
He's brilliant in Ray Donovan.
Robert Duvall? No.
No, Robert Duvall.
He'll come to us now. He's in Ray Donovan.
Is he?
Yeah. He's in Anaconda as well, but let's not talk about that.
But we got Shaun of the Dead over there. We got obviously Only Fools and Horses, the classic scene where he falls through the bar, and the Batman and Robin one. Goonies, that's one of your favourites, isn't it?
Yeah, that's again up there with Roadhouse, that and Goonies, one of my top films.
I just want to make our listeners aware that I did have to do the truffle shuffle before I entered Williams Manor.
You don't tell him that now. I'll have all hate mail again. No, I'm not that cruel. And besides, you're half the man you used to be. Look at the size of you.
Oh, I got that man to thank over there, and my missus Amy for cooking all the meals. But he's got me training, and I feel good. Keto is treating me well.
I've got to ask, do you feel better than you did on that bike ride? Remember when you did for Velindre Cancer? That was tough, wasn't it?
I could have a serious illness and I'd feel better than I did on that bike.
Is that the ride when you were crying at the top of a hill?
That is correct. Correct.
What's happening to what goes on tour stays on tour?
Well, it's gone out the window with him.
Yeah.
No, you were crying. It was hard.
That was
Mate,
tough.
I was only crying because if you remember, Shane, well, you've done it the week before us. We got to the big Sir lodges. There was no signal on the phones for 2 days. And then in the morning, they were like, all right, we had one of the guides with us. And they said, oh, we've got to get up now. It's like 4:30 in the morning. And I didn't sleep very well because I was in agony every single day. She goes, right, we've got to meet them right at the top of the hotel. We're like, right, okay. And this, get to the top, was a cycle. Yeah. It was a hill. It was a really steep hill, right? So we got to the top. And we're like, where's everyone? Oh, they're all down the bottom by the entrance having breakfast. So I was raging already. And then when we started that day, it was like 3 hours of just uphill.
Yeah, that was horrendous.
And it was like Shane used to go out in the second group because obviously they blasted it. They're all athletes. I'd go out in the first group. And then I had fair play to some of the people on there who were at a senior age. They absolutely smoked me as well. And I just remember pulling over about 3 or 4 times and getting off the bike and going, I'm just waiting for the truck. I can't. And then I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do that. And then the last time, no signal. After this point, or before this point, no signal. All of a sudden, my phone went ping. I looked at it, and my best mate and Amy had got all the family and the friends to do a little video compilation. Well done. And I burst into tears. Honest to God, jumped on the bike, and then they got me through. And then later in the day, Shane and Becky James, or Becky North now, they lied to me every corner. It was a misty day. Every corner. Oh, this is the last corner, Kyle. One more. And then it was like 9 more.
It was the only way to get you through it, really. But fair play to you.
But I appreciate it.
Fair play to you. You've done a sterling job.
We're doing another big one next September, aren't we? 3 canyons, ending up in Vegas. It'll be a tough one.
Vegas is going to be tough, isn't it?
And
if my past trips have been anything to go by.
We should say that last week you did a great ride for a friend of ours, Matthew J. Watkins, who sadly passed away.
Yeah.
How was that? Must have had a good time.
Oh, we had a great time. And Matthew was on that ride, wasn't he? The one we done in California with Kyle, and what a top man, great player. And yeah, it was his birthday, so a lot of his mates and a lot of the boys decided to do I think it was a 108-mile cycle, stopping off in all the clubs he's played in Wales, and having a few beers in Oakdale to celebrate his birthday and his life. So yeah, it was nice. We raised a lot of money for charity for Velindre Cancer Centre, and it was an absolute pleasure to do it for him. Yeah. Top man.
Good. Mate, back on telly, me and you, Premier Sports, last couple of weeks. Enjoyed it? Bit weird, wasn't it?
It is weird because, one, there's no crowd there. Unfortunately, there's not much crowd at the Liberty anytime, to be fair. But no, it's a strange atmosphere. You can hear the refs a lot. You can hear the boys talking to each other on the field there. And when you've got a capacity stadium with 30,000 and there's only about 10 people there, it's really weird. But look, it's good to be back working, isn't it? It's probably the day before Wales were meant to play Scotland was the last time I was involved in rugby and did a proper day's work, really.
Me too.
So it was great. It was good to be back and see some of the boys and girls that I work with, and watch some good games as well. Some of them not so good, but some good games and good performances.
What's it like being in the stadium? Obviously, we've talked about this on the podcast before with various people about when you've got, the show director in your ear and, you've got to try and speak to somebody and listen to somebody at the same time. But what's it like now with nobody in the stadiums, having to listen to that man screaming his head off when he's commentated? Can you get a word in? Can you think straight?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Look, it's hard anyway because, when you become a commentator, you don't train for it. You're asked to do it, and you're basically thrown in the deep end. And one of my first games commentating was Italy. God, we're talking 5-6 years ago, and it was only because Andrew Cotter went down with food poisoning, literally in the stadium in Rome. So I had to run up there, and I said to Jiffy, what the hell do we talk about? And he goes, I haven't got a clue. I said, Jiffy, you've been doing it for 20 years. So me and Jiffy just talked absolute nonsense, and I had the director in my ear, and I had the producer, the referee. You could hear the noise of the crowd around you, obviously, and you could hear the players, and I was like, oh my God, it's one of the hardest things I've had to do. But you just get used to it, and initially sometimes you work with people who are great, who can kind of get you on to say something or bring you in. Then you do work with some people. I remember working with Brian Moore, and every time I went to say something, he'd go like that to me, shh. So I was like, oh, hold on, I haven't said a word for 25 minutes. Like, it's the Brian Moore show. So, you know, but you do get used to it, and you work with some fantastic commentators that help you, you know. So I've been very lucky.
I feel like I've prepared for it all my life, because ever since I can remember, I was one of those kids. I love anything with a ball, a bat, you know, anything. I watched it all. I was one of those ones who got up and watched. I was 13. Every single event of the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics on telly. I would get up for a test match and watch every ball. I'd draw a circle, which was the field, and every run that was scored, I'd draw a line. I'd listen on the radio. I had a black and white TV in my room, which sports night on a Wednesday night was on with Harry Carpenter.
You didn't have a girlfriend to do for a long time.
I didn't have a girlfriend for a long time. And I feel like I'd prepared for it all my life, because I'd listened and I loved it all and this, that and the other. So, and Shane will tell you, as a coach, you're talking all the time. You know, you sick your own voice. But, you know, I do get excited when I commentate. I'm quite passionate about it. You spend a lot of time watching and preparing and thinking, and then something happens. I don't know, I just get a bit carried away. But it was quite funny in the first game, because they've been pumping through this crowd noise. And at the Ospreys game, it was quite a drone. It was just like all game, you know. Must have been really annoying for the viewer. And they told us this time round they want us to try and be ourselves a little bit more, you know, just put a bit of banter in. And there was the incident, I think it was the George and all sending off, and Shane turns to me, he goes, my goodness, the joking crowd are getting a bit feisty.
Well, they were. I don't think they must have pressed the volume up or something on the old machine.
And I said, to be fair, they've shouted all game.
You know, it's not easy though, is it? It's it sounds easy when you say, look, that's all you got to do is talk about a game. I'm not a commentator, you know. I when I watch a game, I'm talking as if I was sat in a pub watching it with you, and I don't try and overcomplicate it. When I played, I just played it as a simple game. A lot of the stuff I done off the cuff, and a lot of the stuff you still, you know, I didn't understand and still don't understand really, because it's a complex game, rugby. But for me, it's just like, just pretend you're in a pub watching it, you're having a chat without the swearing and all the other stuff that comes with it, and you'll get through it. And that's what I do. You don't have to over elaborate on anything. You try and teach people what is happening on the field as well, because it is a complex game, especially when new rules come in, or now the refs are interpreting the breakdowns or the scrums differently. It is difficult. But for me, I'm just watching a game and enjoying it with my mate, and we're having a little chat about it. And I'm hoping that's how it should work.
As a fan of watching, like, obviously I've grown up watching you on TV playing. I've grown up watching you on Scrum 5 and now commentating and the rest of it. So
don't break my chair.
I know, I've just leaned there and the chair, I think I'm sitting on a transformer here. We don't get these types of chairs in Port Talbot, you see. But it is a difficult thing, and just doing this podcast and listening to the people we've had on, and now you talking, you know, someone like me would think, oh, it's easy to just go and sit there and chat about what's happening in front of you. But I understand it's a lot different. I want to talk about, you said Andrew Cotter there. Now, there's been some voices of rugby over the years, and I just want to come back to those voiceovers that he did for his dogs. Have you seen them? Olive and Pearl. Is it Olive and Pearl?
Yeah.
And he's doing voiceovers. And I think there was another fella who started doing it with the mums walking their babies in the park.
Yeah.
Those videos were brilliant. And I think he's wrote a book about it as well.
He's a funny man. He's
a dry, funny man.
Very, very sharp. He could very easily be a comedian. He's almost Jimmy Carr about him, really, but a little bit more.
He posted one last week. It was just his dog snoring. And it was just hilarious. Like, you know, it was bloody great. It was. But anyway, look, delighted we got you on, mate. And to be part of the Tuesday Club, it means that our following is going to go through the roof. And it's quite apt, really, that in your first podcast as a co-host, we've got a special guest on who actually you are his idol. And he's going to be something, we're pretty sure. Playing at Gloucester now, he had his first involvement in the Welsh squad. I think it was in the Six Nations, wasn't it? So didn't start any games, didn't get involved with the squad. But coming up on the Tuesday Club, interviewed by Kyle, myself, and the one and only Shane Williams, we're going to have Louis Rees-Zammit. Well, I'm delighted to say now, joining us on the Tuesday Club, Shane Williams' first Tuesday Club episode as a co-host. We've got the one and only Louis Rees-Zammit. Louis, thanks very much for joining us, taking the time out. How are things
No
with
worries.
you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Form's good. You picked up where you left off, that's for sure.
Yes, it's not too bad. Obviously, I couldn't play last game, which is a bit frustrating, but we got a big game this weekend, so hopefully I can score another try.
Well, you've got a pretty good record at the moment, to be fair to you. Now, before Shane asks you some questions, because you've been playing 15 as well, which is something we want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you want to ask Shane some questions as well. But let's talk about your T-shirt. You're an ambassador for a brilliant awareness charity called Sporting Minds UK, which can be found at www.sportingmindsuk.org. Now, let me read out some key messages, because it's something that's very close to your heart as a young athlete, a young elite athlete. You know, Sporting Minds UK, they've launched a new campaign raising £10,000 between now and November 2020 to provide mental health support for 100 young sports people, having already helped 200 already since the launch last November, and contributed to the wider conversation around mental health in sport, which, you know, all of us really know, not just in sport, but Kyle will know from the entertainment world. And the goal is to raise £10,000 between now and the charity's first anniversary on the 25th of November. You're an ambassador for that. You know, how passionate are you about this charity?
Yeah, it's mental health is a very important thing to make sure you're kind of looking after, especially in young athletes, because you want to address these problems as early as possible to prolong your career. So I say it is a massive thing in sport nowadays, and a lot of people are starting to struggle with it, and Sporting Minds is here just to, you know, help the people who need it.
Yeah, I think it's something in young people as well, isn't it? And to have someone like yourself as an ambassador who can speak about it, because that's half the problem sometimes, isn't it? Is just speaking about it. And you know, obviously, if you've got a lot of followers now on Twitter and Instagram. I'm one of them as well, by the way. So
same.
You know, yeah, hands up. So
Cheers,
you know, you inspire a lot of people. So especially at a very young age as well. So for you to do something like this it's very big and noble of you, really. But how's it all been going now? How's how do you kind of get on and do the training and stuff, and have to deal with things, I guess, at a very young age?
It's not much of a problem, to be honest. I'm finishing training about 2:00, and then I've got my time off then. So whenever someone is in need or wants to chat, I'm always there for a chat. And yes, it's the past few months, especially in lockdown, I can imagine a lot of people are struggling with their mental health, because obviously in this you haven't been able to train as hard. We haven't had the facilities. But yeah, it's going well, and the charity is raising a lot of money they're raising a lot of money for this new campaign, and it's all going well. Yeah.
Well, mate, we'll plug it, you know, and the social media hashtags, if you like, is at Sporting Minds UK. So follow on Instagram, on Twitter, follow Louis Rees-Zammit, because he'll no doubt be posting about that. It's a great thing that you're doing. You're right, you know, young people, Shane, particularly in where Louis is now. He's just made his first international squad. The hype you will know all around the Wales camp, the Six Nations. Sometimes, you know, he might be a little bit sheltered from it, because, you know, when he gets back on and he gets a red jersey and he scores that try, it's going to be a little bit different for him. You know, what did you experience?
Yeah, for me, a little bit different. I was a bit greener than yourself, I think. I've got to be honest, you know, and I was at an older age. I'd come from amateur rugby within less than 12 months of playing amateur rugby, Division 4, mud up to my knees, getting chased around by a tight head prop around the field there. Within 12 months, I was in the Welsh squad, you know, and I gotta be honest, I crapped myself. I was petrified of being there with players that I'd only seen on telly: Scott Quinnell, Rob Howley, Neil Jenkins, Alan Bateman. All of a sudden I'm training with them, and I always used to think, you know, am I good enough to be here? You know, how can they choose me after just 12 months of rugby? But I think what I see with you is you've obviously come through the schools and the college and everything as well, and you've hit the Gallagher Premiership, you know, flat out. You know, you've got this confidence that the last time I saw confidence in a young player was probably someone like George North. In his first game for Wales, he scores 2 tries. No, I have no doubt, and I like the way you play. I like you're a little bit cocky, a little bit arrogant in the way you play. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And if you can bring that and develop that into the Welsh training setup, and then have your first cap, which I think you should have had in the Six Nations, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be fine, and it's quite encouraging and humbling to see how you've taken it all on board. And you're ripping the Gallagher. I sound like a hell of a fan here, don't I?
Wait till I start talking, mate. Wait till I start talking.
What I'm trying to say probably is, look, you that's all. You don't change anything in what you're doing at the moment. You play with confidence. You back your speed, you back your pace, and when you get that chance to play for Wales, you do exactly the same. It's the reason you're getting selected is because of what you're doing for Gloucester. So I have no doubt that when you get this opportunity, you're going to take it with both hands, and all the best to you on that.
How does that feel, Lewis, to get that from, which is well documented, one of your heroes?
I feel like I'm going to cry.
I know, I got a bit teary.
No, it's obviously amazing. It's all come quite fast for me, and I'm just trying to take it as it comes, every opportunity. As soon as I get on the pitch, I'm just trying to score tries, try and help the team. It's been a weird, 12 months for me. Playing in the A-League and then making my Premiership debut, and then all of a sudden I don't know how, but I'm getting picked for the Wales Six Nations squad. It all feels a bit surreal. But yeah, I'm loving everything at the moment. Loving playing rugby and scoring tries.
I wanted to ask you, nice to meet you, mate. I'm fanboying, I am. Every rugby player I meet, I fanboy over. More than you, Shane, I feel. But I just wanted to ask you a question, which you just answered there, about how surreal it was to be going through all of this in such a short space of time. The one thing is, can you change your name to Zammit Rees so I can tell everyone that we're related? No, how was it? Obviously, going from Gloucester and being on such great form, and then all of a sudden you're in the public eye, and like Shane said, your socials are going up in followers every day, and then you get that call, come and train with us. You're in the squad for the Six Nations. I was a big campaigner, Sean, if you remember. I was so angry that they didn't pick you. I wanted you in the first game, starting against Italy, if I'm honest. Baptism of fire type of thing. But what does that feel like, that whole array of emotions and being picked for the international side?
I was trying to just keep my head down and not really concentrate on the social media side. I just needed to keep enjoying my rugby and keep helping Gloucester out. And then when I did get that phone call and I got into camp, it was kind of just like, try and learn from these players and use his experience. Obviously, I didn't get picked, which is annoying. But when I came back to Gloucester, I was using the experience I learned from all the wingers, all the players, and I just tried to put it in each game. It was a very surreal moment when I did get the call, and I definitely wasn't expecting it.
I think you've done the right thing as well. It could be, with your form you were showing at Gloucester, you could very easily have thought, right, I'm in the Welsh squad now, I should be playing on the weekend. If form is the selection process. But what was good to see is that you didn't throw your toys out the pram. You weren't picked. A lot of people wanted to pick you, but you showed great character and strength, and you came back and thought, right, okay, I've learned a lot from this kind of experience. You went back to Gloucester and you still did the business. Now, the coaches would have looked at that and said, oh, this kid's got his head screwed on. He could very easily have gone back to Gloucester, thrown his toys out the pram, tried a little bit too much in training and during games. And, it can affect your performance, really. But what's encouraging to see, and I'm sure Pivac and Steve and the rest of them going to go, well, actually, this guy's, even though he's a young guy, he's quite mature. He's proven now that he can take that kind of knockback, because it is a knockback. Because everyone, you're in that environment, you're watching the guys getting selected, you're watching them getting their shirts presented to them. It's frustrating. I've been there myself. Yeah. But what you've done is right, I think, and very noble. So you're going to get your chance, mate. Let's all be honest. Everyone in this room knows you get your chance. Bide your time, and when you do get it, take it with both hands, and that's all I can say.
Did you have any feedback, Lewis?
From camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, so at the very start of the camp, I had a chat with Wayne Pivac, and he just said kind of like, just try and come here and learn from each player. If you do get picked, then obviously it's a privilege to wear the Welsh jersey. But I wasn't really expecting too much, so I knew that I kind of had to go in there with a mindset of just try and learn. If you don't get picked, it's not a worry. Hopefully I'll get my chance soon. And yeah, I've just come back to Gloucester. I'm trying to play my best rugby, and hopefully I'll get selected for the autumn.
Well, mate, you keep doing what you're doing, and that's a foregone conclusion. Can I ask many of our followers, listeners, why Gloucester?
So I went to Hartbury College when I was 16, and I left the Blues 16s Academy because it was confusing. I couldn't do both. And I just fancied like a fresh start. All the coaches up at the Hartbury were, they welcomed me with both arms. And then a couple of weeks into Hartbury, I got picked up by Gloucester's Academy, and that was quite a big thing for me. And it all came from Hartbury College and going up there and trying to play rugby, trying to play good rugby rather. So that's probably why I ended up playing for Gloucester.
Do you know what? Whoever started that Hartbury College thing, he was sharp.
I wonder who it was.
Whoever was the first director of rugby at Hartbury College and Gloucester, he was a smart cookie.
If you do say so yourself.
Oh, sorry, Lewis, it was me. That was my statue up there. Can you polish my statue when you?
Oh, you wouldn't lace his boots up, no.
You're right.
It's in the river.
So obviously, we do a little bit of entertainment. Me being the actor, these two being the rugby boffins.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've been in weird circumstances this year, and everyone's had a lot more time in their homes. So, what type of things do you get up to? Do you like watching box sets or movies? What sort of things you've been watching?
Yeah, I've been watching a fair few movies, and during lockdown, I've been playing FIFA. I've been trying to keep on top of everything in terms of watching TV. But yeah, I've been watching a fair few films. There's not really much you can do apart from I get out, train in the morning, and I got a whole day to do nothing.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to.
I got a question, mate. Do you know what series he's in?
No, he doesn't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Crime Watch, mate. Crime Watch.
That's what he was trying to get at.
No, it wasn't. I don't know why you wanted to bring that up.
Love Island.
Yeah. No, I was on the one on ITV where we all went to an island to try and lose all the weight. That's what I was on.
No, you were. So what box sets? What box sets have you been watching or TV? What's your fancy there, Lewis?
Yeah, so I've been watching Power.
Oh, good one.
Brilliant.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
That's 50 Cent, isn't it?
Yeah,
wrong. Yeah.
But for movies, I'm quite an emotional one, I think. I like the Titanic.
Oh, that's surprising.
Bless.
That's nice, though.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I was watching.
That was probably out before he was born.
No, I know. I was watching a bit of Celebrity Goggle Box, right? Don't ask me why. I flicked over, and it was quite funny, right? So you had people like Ryland and people like that on there, right? With watching in 2s and 3s, and they watched Titanic, and every one of them had a tear in their eye at the end when he slips away. I couldn't believe it.
She's very selfish. He could easily have fitted on that door, couldn't he?
Lewis, if I had to put, life or death situation, top 3 films of all time, what would they be? Going from 3 to 1.
Okay.
Now we know Titanic's number 1.
Yeah, Titanic's number 1. Gladiator's number 2.
Oh, Sean.
Class.
Another sad ending.
Yeah. And number 3 would be Wolf of Wall Street.
Right, yeah. Livened it up a bit. I thought you were going to say Watership Down or something. That really killed me off.
We saw the other side of Louis Rees-Zammit there, but until he went Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Come on.
3 different films there, wasn't it? Huh? Please.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there was a movie to be made about Louis Rees-Zammit, so it's Louis Rees-Zammit, the epic movie, who is going to play you in the film, mate?
Does it have to be an actor?
I mean, it would help because then, it's half the battle. But no,
you want.
It could be wherever you want it to be, mate.
Probably Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, he just loves Titanic, doesn't he?
He loves Titanic. He's a
Just
Leo
loves
fan. He's a
Titanic.
Leo fan.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for the guest. I'm waiting for the guest who says, well, I'll pay myself.
Yeah.
That was you. You already said that.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
I used to say Danny DeVito when people ask me. But, you know.
Kyle said The Rock.
The Rock,
That's
yeah,
like-
that's who's playing me. The Rock.
He's looking in the wrong mirror.
The boulder.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about that anymore, mate. Too much. You can fit your gaming around and you're watching around your training. So obviously you've had a great restart now back. What was it like playing 15, by the way? Would you prefer that or on the wing?
No, it's just another option. Obviously, that's the first time I played 15. So yeah, it was quite fun, to be fair. We didn't get much ball, so it wasn't the best for attacking. But I was just trying to do what I do for the team, and I couldn't really do that much that game because we didn't play very well. But it's another option to play, and as long as I can play all three positions, it's good.
And you're always learning, I suppose, as well. If you're playing 15, you're playing different positions, so you're kind of learning the trade of the guy that's inside you or outside you as well. As a winger, you're almost like a fullback anyway, especially when you're covering kicks.
Yeah,
working that pendulum of three of you back and forth. So it's just another string to your bow, isn't it? And
exactly.
It's going to help you as well when there is squad and team selections, because you can play in that position. You obviously weren't out of place there. You're a big, tall, rangy guy. Aussie rules style where you can go up and compete. I wouldn't have a chance jumping against you, to be fair. You're about 3 foot taller than me, so it's another string to your bow. But obviously, depending on what happens next, there are going to be Welsh games coming up. What's your mindset with that now? Are you going to go in with the same mindset the Six Nations, or do you think now, honestly speaking, you're ready to put that jersey on and start for Wales?
To be honest, I was ready before, but it just didn't come. So I'm in fact
right answer.
Yeah, I'm more than ready now. I think when I do get my opportunity, and hopefully I'll take it. But I'm not really focusing on the Wales thing yet. We've still got another 5 games for Gloucester to play, and I need to keep my form up. Otherwise, I won't even get in the squad. Yeah. So if it does come, then I will take my opportunity.
Great, mate. Well, look, we wish you all the best. We'll be following you. Don't forget to all our listeners now that Louis Rees-Zammit, our very special guest, is an ambassador for Sporting Minds UK, doing great things regarding young elite athletes or just young athletes, helping raise £10,000. So please go to their social media at Sporting Minds UK and donate and help. They want to raise £10,000 by the 25th of November. Louis, we wish you all the best with Gloucester.
Thank you very much, guys.
At the end of the season and for selection in the up-and-coming internationals. We'll be following you. Make sure you tune into Tuesday Club, yeah?
Yeah, we'll do it.
And it's good to speak to you, buddy. Hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, 100%.
Keep up the good work.
Forward to it.
Cheers,
boys. Bye-bye.
Cheers, man.
Thanks, Louis.
Take care,
Brilliant.
Bye-bye.
Brilliant, boy.
Yeah.
Well, Louis Rees-Zammit, eh?
Fantastic.
Nice kid, isn't he?
Yeah, lovely kid. Unassuming. But, Shane, and you've been, pretty much like him in that situation. Everybody was talking about you, right? When you're going to pick this guy, he's got to get a red jersey on, even if he was 3 times too big for you when he first played.
Yeah.
But he's
David James's.
Yeah, he's had it now. He's had that because of his form, and his try scoring ability. He seems like a confident kid.
He is. Like I've never met him, and I can tell you just from speaking to him on a Zoom call that he's very grounded, isn't he? Intelligent boy, and he's done exactly what he had to. He's bided his time. He's trained with the best there, Liam Williams and George North. He's learnt a lot from them, I can assure you. He's come away and thought, all right, okay, I'm gutted I didn't play. You could tell by him, he thought that he should have been playing.
That last question was a brilliant question by you, co-host.
Thank you very much. I'm getting good at this. So he knew, just by speaking to him there, that he knows he's ready. And that's why I asked him, if he's ready to go now again. Very grounded, and I think if he takes, that's all he needs to do, right? He's got the ability, he's got the pace, he's certainly got the confidence. That's all he has to do, is that when he gets his chance, play like he does for Gloucester. It's a game of rugby. It's nothing different. The intensity rises. There's more people watching you, and you are playing against I suppose a group of better quality players. But what you do is exactly the same as what you're doing on the field for Gloucester. So I think he's got that. So I hope he gets his chance. I hope he stays injury-free now, keeps doing what he's doing for Gloucester, and I can assure you he'll be playing in the next couple of games for Wales.
There'll be nobody watching him, though.
No.
Kyle, from a fan's point of view, you've been banging the drum, to be fair. He's got to play now for you, isn't he? As a fan, you want to see him in a red shirt, didn't you?
Well, I wanted him to play against Italy because I thought, no disrespect to the Italians, but they haven't done very well in the Six Nations the last sort of 5-10 years. Why not blood him in when you know you're going to get, well, you don't know you're going to get a win, but there's more chance of you winning that game where, even if they brought him in, 65, 70 minutes just to give him a run on the pitch, to see the atmosphere, to get on the field with the boys or whatever. It was like a couple of years ago, Wales v Samoa, or one of the Pacific Island teams. Alex Cuthbert had a terrible game. They had Keelan Giles on the bench, and he was massively in form. And
Japan, wasn't it?
Was it Japan? Yeah. And they just left him, and they didn't bring him on. And I thought if he had that ball, he would have definitely wouldn't have dropped in the 5-meter line like Alex Cuthbert did.
He was unlucky, I think, in the sense. Yeah, I think he should have been involved in some capacity against Italy, because you are right. If there's a team you want to blood a youngster, it's that. Even if it's just 20 minutes to the end, just to get him on that field where you get the stadium up on their feet, because everyone wants this kid to play.
Yeah.
The problem was that Wales kind of scraped through that game, didn't they?
Yeah.
And it was very difficult after that. They couldn't buy a win.
No.
And then the last thing you're going to do as a coach then is going to go, all right, well, if I'm going to pick Lewis now. It looks like it's panic stations.
Yeah.
So because of that reason, and only because of that reason, I think that he was just put to the side, and he was like, no, we've got to have our experience on here because we have to win the games.
Okay.
And it's a detriment to him, really. But look, he's going to get his chance, isn't he? Let's be honest.
I hope so.
He was almost a victim of the fact that it was the new coaching team's first game, wasn't it? And they hadn't had a run up into it.
One game they had against the Barbars.
Yeah. So, but there we are. We know his quality. We can see he's a level-headed guy, and he's really confident in his own ability, and he's going to get his chance.
He'll be fine.
He's going to be something. Wait, that's the end of this week's Tuesday Club. Kyle, what do you think of our new co-host? Didn't he do well?
He's all right. He's all right.
I'm just worried that I'll take over. Because
that's especially with you two and you a long relationship. I'm worried I'm going to be booted out the side door if I can fit with these arms.
You're like the.
You always need a token actor in these things.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah,
you're fine.
Jeepers creepers! I don't know why I asked you to become on here.
You won't be coming to my house again, will you? You don't like me anymore.
Do you know? I'm just looking on the Zoom there. I think could be getting a little sign on the door there. I mean, nice little setting for the Tuesday Club.
Well, we're off and running with our new co-host Shane Williams. He's like Louis Rees-Zammit in his first international, confident, cocky, taking over.
Yeah.
That's exactly
I love it. Yeah, pretty much. I like it.
What a guest, Louis Rees-Zammit. Big thanks to you. Big thanks to our partners, Buffoon Film and Media, Adam and Moore, and of course the Brit Pub in Carmarthen. And don't forget Brad Sketchpad. Brilliant, our new logo.
Drawing, mate.
And don't forget, you can follow Louis Rees-Zammit's social media, where he's an ambassador for Sporting Minds UK. That's at Sporting Minds UK. You'll see Kyle, Shane and myself next week on the Tuesday Club.
Wales.